Chaplain's Corner by Dr. Ron Lester. The consistently used thumbnail head and shoulders smiling photo of Dr. Lester is located at the beginning of his Chaplain's Corner. The lapel of a plaid sport coat, shown as gray, is visible over a darker colored dress shirt. There is no caption with the photo. Chaplain Lester's column reads as follows. As we find ourselves at the beginning of 2023, I feel compelled to ask, where did last year go? I refer especially to the last 4 months of the year, once the National Convention was in the annals of history. Just contemplate all the things that occurred in that window of time. Veterans Day, such a great time to remember all our veterans who have served to give us the freedom we have in this country. Thanksgiving, such a great time to look back on our life and be grateful, or gather with friends and family to have fellowship, and the religious holidays of December and early January that hopefully filled us with some good cheer and useful reflection. In the fall of 1966, I was in Vietnam, missing friends and family. The guy that I had worked with for 2 years and who was my bunkmate got shipped home in October for health reasons. So on Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and all the other holidays that year, I was just counting the days until January 11, 1967. When that day came, I could go home to see my sweetheart and ask her to marry me. We got married on June 9 of that year. Despite the anticipation leading up to my proposal and eventual wedding day, I was very lonely during that waiting time. Being out there by myself, without friends, family, and my bunkmate made for a difficult fall season. This personal experience of many years ago seems to have relevance now, as I am aware that many of us have had that overwhelming feeling of loneliness these last few years. There are times when we truly believe that no one cares about us. One of the best ways I have found to break that loneliness is to start singing songs and just start saying, I am alive and well, even when I don't feel like it. There is power in song and in what is true. This all reminds me of the story of Dave Rover. If you haven't heard of Dave and his account of being burned beyond recognition from a grenade explosion accident in Vietnam, you should go listen to some of his music and sermon. In 2005 in Hawaii, at a Thanksgiving dinner for our military, I sat and listened to Dave's story. What inspiration his stories are! One story that sticks out the most to me was when Dave got his guitar out and began to play and sing, and the feeling of great joy floods his spirit. Through his own music, he finally breaks that loneliness and the fear that no one loves him after the burns all over his face and hands. What an amazing story. Above all, when loneliness and despair hit, we need to turn to the Scriptures. There are so many stories about men and women who needed an encouragement, and God provided it to them. There are also many stories, especially in the Psalms, about giving thanks to God despite our feelings and circumstances. He is good and with us even in the hardest of times. May God's blessing be upon you this year, and may we give thanks to the Almighty. Thanks to our veterans and all they do.